Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the HHH Racing Podcast. This is your host, Howard Kravitz. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. It is Belmont Stakes week. I've been waiting for this week for a long time. What a fantastic week of racing and big time stakes coming up at Belmont this Saturday. It's basically Breeders' Cup 2.0. It's going to be very exciting. And to celebrate and kick off this week, I've got some very exciting announcements to tell you. So, first of all, as you can see on the scroll below, many ways to get in touch with me. First of all, make sure you subscribe right there on the right side of the screen. And after you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you'll know when new content arises on my show. You can follow me on Twitter at HKravitz. And all the spelling, of course, is on the scroll on the bottom. Also, you can contact me by email at hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. To celebrate and kick off Belmont Stakes Week, this Wednesday night, again, I'm moving the live stream show to Wednesday instead of Thursday this week. This Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, I have the one and only Nick Tamro. That's right, Nick Tamro is going to be here. He's a fantastic handicapper. He's worn many hats. He's done morning lines. He writes for In the Money Media. He's won many contests. He's extremely knowledgeable about everything horse racing, especially the New York circuit. I'm so happy and honored to have him again. You do not want to miss this show. We're going to preview Belmont Stakes Day card this Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Nick Tamro. Please join me then. Also, you can find my picks for Canterbury Park, as you see below there, at inthemoneymedia.com. I am the blog writer for Canterbury Park. They're racing on Monday, Memorial Day. They race Wednesday and Thursday also, and Sunday also. This upcoming week, they usually go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, but because of Memorial Day, they're going Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday of this week. You can find all my free picks and selections for Canterbury Park on the In the Money Media blog. Also, I have a very big announcement about my own race day blog. So let me go put that up on the screen. So on Saturday mornings, you have the opportunity to receive my race day blog. Now I'm making some changes for the race day blog starting this Saturday. Please make sure down below you read the description. You can find out where to sign up for my race day blog. It's a fantastic deal. It's very cheap. You get it for the entire month, either 4 to 5 editions, depending on how many Saturdays there are in the month. It's only about $3 per blog. You receive fantastic information on the featured sequence on my podcast and also spot plays throughout the country. This past weekend, I hit the pick 4 and the pick 5. I gave both those out at Churchill on my blog. I've had many long shots I've given out on my race day blog, and also a portion of the proceeds from the race day blog will go to the Thoroughbred Retirement Fund. So not only are you helping yourself out with some picks going forward and my selections, where you can hopefully cash big on pick 4s, pick 5s, and long shots, but also you're supporting my podcast with the HHH Racing podcast and YouTube channel, and also you're supporting horse racing by making a very small donation. As part of the proceeds will go to the Thoroughbred Retirement Fund, TRF. So again, all detailed information will be below in the description of this video, and also on Wednesday's show I'll be talking a little more in detail about the race day blog. Many of you listening to this show already receive the race day blog, and so hopefully you'll continue to support myself and the channel by signing up for the race day blog. You can find information again on the show Wednesday night, or just look at the description below. So Today we're going to be recapping the pick five sequence. Actually, I'm going to show 6 races very briefly from Saturday. It was an all stakes card on Churchill, and there were a lot of really interesting replays and things to talk about. Most of them good. A few really unfortunate breaks for me, especially in the first race that we're going to show you. But we had some long shots that we talked about on the preview show last week that came to fruition on Saturday, which was fantastic. Had a lot of good opinions um, and a few bad opinions, but that's the way horse racing goes. We're going to talk about all of it on the show tonight. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the first race of the sequence at Churchill. Actually, we're going to talk about the first race that was not a part of the pick five, and that was the Blame Stakes, which was a mile and a 16th for older horses. As you can see on the bottom there, Mighty Heart upset the field at 9-1. Night Ops finished a very heartbreaking close second, and Sprawl was also right there, finishing third, and finishing um, actually second to last was my long shot and my price play of the day, South Bend, who got a brutal trip in the stretch. It looked like he had a lot of horse. Let's go ahead and watch the replay of the Blame. You're going to notice Sprawl on the inside, the number 2 horse, actually stumbled. He was supposed to show some speed. Actually got pinched. You can see there, got pinched and bumped as Mighty Heart, the 1, was right up there, and you can see the 5 takes the lead there, and then Mighty Heart angles out. There was supposed to be a lot more speed in the race, but when Sprawl, the 2, sort of got bumped and steady, the pace didn't really develop, which is also always really frustrating to me because it looked like there were, 3 speed horses in the race, and then they go, as you can see, 24 and 1 uh, for the first quarter. And you see Mighty Heart is really comfortable on the outside there for James Graham. And Sprawl is also sitting comfortably. However, as you see, he did get bumped. My top choice you see in the back of the pack here, South Bend. I was happy that he was saving ground. You see they went 49 to the half, which is just insane considering there was more speed signed on. I was happy that South Bend was on the inside. I was not happy with the fact that they were going really slow. But you're going to see the real racing begin about right here. As you see, Mighty Heart's going to take the lead on the outside. You see Night Ops making an early move for Florent Giroux there, 3 wide. I like the aggressiveness by Giroux as they bump up. But watch what happens here to this 6, my top choice, South Bend. It looked like there was a hole right here. I'm just going to freeze it right there. This is Guest Suite, the 4. This is Mighty Heart, the 1. This is Night Ops, the 3. I don't know if I can really blame Tyler Gaffalione for this, but the hole definitely closed up. If South Bend gets through, I'm completely convinced that he has a huge chance to win this race. If not outright, just win the race for sure. But as you can see, as he tries to get through the hole, it was really a combination of 2 things here. I think the 1, Mighty Heart, sort of drifted out just a little bit. Night Ops, the 3, came in a little bit, and Guest Suite came in, and he just couldn't get through that hole. I thought there might be an inquiry. You see it closes up there, and he had absolutely no chance. At this point, looking like the 5 might upset, but the race just sort of collapses. It's pretty much 4 or 3 across the track. I needed the 2 or 3 here, and amazingly, you see the wire here. It was dead tight. That was just after the wire. But Mighty Heart wins the race by a nose over Night Ops and Sprawl. I thought they all actually ran well. You see the final time was 150. Excuse me, it was actually a mile and 8th race, not a mile and a 16th. Let's just go ahead and watch again because it's important to see. So I would definitely put South Bend in your stable. I thought he was going to run a big race. This is just bad racing luck right here because the pace developed and he just got shut off with absolutely nowhere to go whatsoever. And again, as we fast forward to the finish there, it was dead tight. Got to give Mighty Heart a lot of credit for just being able to hang on there at the wire over the 3 night ops and over the 2 sprawl. So that set up a huge start to the pick six. It knocked me out of the pick six. Hopefully you were alive to that, but I did not have mighty hearts. So it was sort of a tough day, tough start to my day at at Churchill Downs in terms of my horizontal sequence. Let's go ahead to the start of the pick five. The start of the pick five, and I talked about this on my show. Let me go ahead and go back to full screen. I talked about this on my show how um, Envoûtant I thought would be very tough to beat in the first leg, and you had to make a decision. Do you want to play and single Envoûtant, who ended up going 2-5, and play the pick five anyway, or do you want to skip the pick five and just play the pick four? What I did is what I mentioned on my blog. I played a very small pick five without Envoûtant, just in case she didn't win. And then I played a bigger pick five, singling Envoûtant as my only A. I also pressed up with all my A's. So if all my A horses won, I would have had the pick five more than once. And the reason why I did that is there was a $75,000 plus carryover into the pick five. And I just decided I need to play this pick five sequence, even with Envoûtant probably winning the first leg because of the carryover. So let's go ahead and take a look at this race here. You see Envoûtant was the winner. She did it well. Miss Bigley second. Paris Lights third. By the way, in that last race, a Muddy Heart got a 93 buyer. Just wanted to mention that. So we're going to watch. There's really not much to say in this race, to be honest. Envoûtant was got a perfect trip. We'll just go ahead and fast forward a little bit here. Got a perfect trip sitting outside of Miss Bigley. We'll just go ahead and fast forward because, frankly, there's really not much to talk about throughout this race here. Envoûtant is a very nice filly. You're going to see her take over here in this stretch. There is one little thing to talk about here. As you see, they go 48-1, 112 for the 3/4. There's an inquiry. Envoûtant comes in a little bit, but really, this had no effect on the race. This kind of inquiry bothers me because she's already passed. She came in just ever so slightly, but Miss Bigley was already done. Martine Garcia on the 4 put up the inquiry sign, and they took it down within like 15 seconds. These kind of things annoy me because it had absolutely no effect on the race. As you see, Envoûtant winning very easily, Miss Bigley getting second. I didn't think there was any chance that this horse was going to be taken down. It had absolutely no effect on the race whatsoever. And Envoûtant is a very nice horse. She got a 100 buyer in this race. It was her buyer top. I don't think she's that far off from She Shares the Devil, Swiss Skydiver. You know, you can a Monomoy Girl. The list goes on. I think if she continues to develop, she will have a shot in the Breeders' Cup Distaff at Del Mar in November. She still has to improve a little bit, but she's a very nice horse. Great trip. Uh, Excellent ride. She laid over the field. No surprise there. Envoûtant gets it done at 2-5. Let's go to the next race. Now, the next race was the Regret Stakes. It was for 3-year-old fillies, restricted fillies on the turf. I thought this was an absolutely wide open race. And you see the winner there is number 7, Gam's Mission, who went off a surprisingly high 6-1 with Spanish Lover Fair finishing second and Flown in third. We'll go ahead and watch the replay of the Regret Stakes. I talked about on the show with Paul Halloran, the preview show last week, that although Spanish Mission, it looked like on paper, was going to have the easy lead, and that's exactly what happened. I was concerned about the distance. Actually, she sat in the. She was sort of battling here, and I was watching these races with my friend Jerry Richmond, and I'm just going to pause it right here. I don't like the trip that the 4 got in this race, and I was fine with her losing, obviously, but she got that kind of trip where she's sort of half in, half out. To me, you either have to go straight to the lead with Spanish Love Affair, or you can just sit in the pocket. And I don't mean to be nitpicky because again, these jockeys have a very tough job, but I don't think this is the kind of trip that you want with a Spanish love affair. And that is, you can see that although she's sitting comfortably and they went 24 and 2, again, this is what I'm talking about right here. If you look at the arrow there, she's not really on the lead, but she's also not sitting back either. And it sort of forces the jockey's hand where she's got to hold her position. And so at 7-5, again, they weren't flying, but I thought distance might be an issue with this four. I talked about it on the show. As you see, the 5 Barista and the 8 Flown getting very good trips, and Gam's Mission, the winner there in mid pack. They went 49 and 2 for the half. Again, this was not a firm turf course. It was listed as good. But even though they're going relatively slow, you don't want to be battling. Again, I would have, if you wanted a Spanish Love Affair, you either wanted this horse in the pocket or at the clear lead. And even though she has the lead and it's relatively comfortable, they are battling the whole way, and that's just not the situation you want to be in. As you see, Adam Bishiza on Gam's Mission starts asking there in those yellow and black colors, just follows Flown. And I thought this was a pretty darn a big effort to close down Flown here in the stretch, as Barista, the 5, had absolutely no excuses whatsoever. I don't think she ran a very good race at all. And you see Bishiza get busy going left-handed. Gam's Mission did switch leads, but she went on very well. And you see the 1 who was my top choice in this race. That was the 1 Oyster Box for Chris Landeros. I mentioned on the show how I'm not a big fan of Chris Landeros on the turf. And again, I don't want to be too critical, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. He was just way too far back because Oyster Box ran a huge race. I think she was in last. We'd have to go back and look. Let me just go back and look. I don't recall. Yeah, look how far back. Look how far back Oyster Box. You see the 1 there in the chiclet. She's all the way back in last. She closed a ton in this race. I mean, this is a big effort. She closed some last in a relatively slow pace to only lose by 2 lengths. That's a huge effort. So again, I would upgrade Oyster Box going forward. Chris Landeros had this horse too far back. The pace didn't really develop, but congratulations to Gam's Mission. She's a nice filly. She got an 84. None of these 3-year-old fillies are at the top of the division of the 3-year-old turf fillies. These are sort of your second tier 3-year-old turf fillies. But I thought Gam's Mission ran a very nice race, and really, to be truthful, I think Oyster Box might have run the best race of all of them. She was just too far back. I really like Oyster Box in her next race if she just happens to get a better setup, although she is a bit pace dependent with her close. Let's go to the 9th race. So that was a good result for me, as that was an A horse. I talked about Gam's Mission on the show. So now we have 2 A's in the pick 5. That's certainly a good thing. I had very strong opinions here on the Matt Win, which is the next race that we're going to go ahead and show there. The Matt Win, let me just go ahead and put that back up on the screen. Actually, I'll go ahead and remove that. I apologize. I didn't go back to here. So the Matt Win, I had a very strong opinion on. I was against Obesos in the Matt Win. I talked about it on the preview show. I know he looked best on paper. I loved Obesos in the Derby. I think he's a cool horse. I just didn't like this spot at all for him. I didn't think there was a lot of speed in this race, although he was up closer than I thought he'd be. There's no way Obesos and Helium 2 would be pointed for this Matt Win. They are coming off the Kentucky Derby. It's not easy to race well coming off the Derby, even though it was a month ago. My top choice in this race was Folsom for Brad Cox and Drew, who's an up-and-coming horse. I showed the replay of Folsom's last race. I thought it was a bit underrated because he was in between horses. And fortunately for me and the viewers of the show, if you agreed with my picks, Folsom came through. Shockingly enough to me, though, Folsom was the favorite. Folsom was bet down as 8-5 favorite. A lot of people apparently were thinking the same thing I was, that he was the fresh face. that he was improving. He ends up winning this race. He got a 97 Beyer, which is a career Beyer top. I'll talk more about Folsom and where it looks like he is going to be going after I show you the replay of this race. As you see, Folsom pays 540. Let's go ahead and watch the replay. Now, if you would have told me, you see Obesos was a little bit fractious in the gate. Everyone got off fine. Folsom actually got off a little bit slower than I thought. If you would have told me that Obesos, the 3, would be sitting where he was and Folsom would be sitting where he was, I'd be very surprised. I really thought it'd be the exact opposite to me. I thought Helium was going to have the lead. I thought Folsom would be sitting right where where Obesos is, the 3, and I thought Obesos would be in the back of the pack. I do want to give credit to Marcelino Pedroza for putting Obesos in a more tactical spot. I mean, he got an absolutely perfect trip. If you liked Obesos in this race, you couldn't complain at all. You see Helium there does take the lead, although he had to be asked a little bit to get there. He went off at 5-2. And you can see Obesos was a little bit wide and a little bit tugging. I'm not really sure what was going on there. I guess he was just rank and really wanted to go. And you see Brad Cox and Folsom sitting very comfortably in the back of the pack. Although I have to be honest, I really didn't want him this. I didn't want this horse this far back because I thought the track was playing a bit speed favoring. They went 48-3. That's reasonable, but I would say that's moderate. It's certainly not quick. It's more on the slower side. And you see now the real running starts. You're going to see Obesos come with his move 3 wide. Helium has the lead. And now Giroux is asking a little bit early, very similar in the Oaklawn race, where he really gets busy. And Folsom here is 4 wide, tracking. And right here is where the real race begins. If you liked Helium, he was very disappointing. I didn't see an excuse at all for Helium. And you see Folsom come to the outside Obesos. And right here, I thought it could be one of these two. And I was surprised. As you see right there, by the way, Obesos went right-handed and was lugging in. Let me just show you that again there, the top of the stretch. Again, Obesos was really unprofessional in this race. I thought it was a little bit rank early. And then when Pedroza goes right-hand, he sort of lugs in. You're going to see it coming up right here. He lugs in. Meanwhile, Folsom just is straight and strong, a very strong left hand by Giroux, and this horse explodes in the lane. I thought this was a very impressive performance by Folsom as he wins in hand there by about 3 lengths, beating 2 horses out of the Kentucky Derby. Folsom wins the race in 142-4. He finishes with a 97 Beyer, and the plans it appears for Folsom and Brad Cox. This horse is a Juddmonte horse. They've already have Mandaloon going to the Haskell as a Juddmonte horse, so it would make most logical sense for Folsom to be pointed towards the Jim Dandy at Saratoga. And if he runs well there, you'd have to assume that Folsom will be pointed to the Travers, along with probably Mandaloon also. So Folsom is a very talented up-and-coming 3-year-old. This is definitely a horse you want to keep your eye on. He started on the turf, but it looks like to me he's better on the dirt. Okay, did he beat Monsters? No, he didn't beat the top of the division, but Obesos isn't that far off, towards the top of the division. And Folsom absolutely blew right by him. So Folsom absolutely deserves a shot against the best 3-year-olds in the country. And he'll get that shot, most likely, you would think, in the Jim Dandy in July, I believe, at Saratoga, which is really a prep for the Travers. Congratulations to everyone who had Folsom, who was an A for me. I only went Helium and Folsom as my A horse in the pick 5. So we've got 3 A's, and I got a price in the second leg. And although Folsom was 8-5 on the board, he played bigger in the pick 5. So I was very happy at this point. Trying to look for a price really in the next race, the Aristides, which was a very interesting race. We're going to show that race right now. The Aristides was for older horses. It was a 6 furlong sprint. And you see the result there, which didn't make me overly happy for one reason, but for another reason, it actually made me very happy. I'll explain what I mean. As Bango wins for the aforementioned Marcelino Pedrosa, went off at 4-1. Excellent pick by my guest handicapper, Paul Halloran. I was a bit against Bango. I had him as a C originally. But because speed seemed to be holding decently at Churchill, and I reconstructed my ticket, I moved Bango up to a B on my own personal ABC ticket. But in all truth, I didn't love Bango in this spot. I thought there was a lot of other speed. The horse that I was very interested in, which Paul Haller and I talked about on our preview show, was the 6 Long Range Toddy, who came through and finished second at a big price. And my third choice, Sir Alfred James, came in third. So I ended up hitting the trifecta with, I know, a bunch of other people. The dollar try paid huge. It paid $860. So I was very happy about that, obviously, along with a lot of other people. Uh, what surprised me here about Bango in this race, the 3, as you see, he didn't really get out very well. He's sort of back here in this green. He actually broke second to last, and at least on paper, he was a need the lead type. He'd really never closed before, so this result was surprising to me at this point. As you see, the 4 Edgemont Road going to lead. The 9 there got an excellent trip with absolutely no excuses whatsoever. And you see Bango there second to last. Now, Bango, again, like I said, has never closed before. Certainly never like really behind horses. So this really surprised me. We also talked about Tap to Win quite a bit. Tap to Win is the 10. I liked Tap to Win in this spot. I thought he would be much better than his last. I know Jonathan Kinchin singled Tap to Win in his pick 6 on the Fox Sports Show. So he agreed with me that, Tap to Win I thought would um, bounce back from his last effort. I mentioned also in my preview show I would never bet Tap to Win at anything higher than 4-1 in this race. I was absolutely shocked that he was the favorite down to 2-1. I thought he was a horrible favorite. I mean, I liked him a little bit in this spot, but the fact that he was 2-1 was an absolute joke. He ran horribly. The divorce papers are definitely out for me on Tap to Win until he runs back to another good race. He's just enigmatic and running very, very poorly right now. So again, you see Edgemont Road on the lead. You see Sir Alfred James taking a nice trip, and the winner is right here. The winner is right here. Bango and Long Range Toddy comes from last to finish. As you're going to see a very close second. So it's very fair to say this race fell apart to some extent, which means you need to upgrade the 9 Sir Alfred James, who was pretty close to a hot pace. You see, they went 21-2, although it was a bit wind-aided. And you see the half's going to be 44-4. Now, again, something very interesting happened in this race in terms of trips, and we need to talk about it. You're going to see the 3 right here, the winner, Bango. And the 6, a long-range Toddy, is right here angling out. The 5 right here is Empire of Gold. I personally thought Bango comes in and bothers Empire of Gold, and I was expecting to see an inquiry. I was actually quite surprised there was no inquiry sign put up because I do think Bango came in a path or two and affected Empire of Gold. We're going to see it right here. You see, right, it's going to be coming up. Right here, he's leaning in, lugging in right there, and you see Empire Gold stumbled. Let's watch it again. Sorry, I took it way too far back. So again, right here, you see Bengal's already leaning in, but it's really about right. He's coming in. He bumps with him, and you see Empire Gold there take a stumble. I was very surprised there's no inquiry in this race. Bengal was on the long lead. I thought Long Range Toddy was actually going to go by but he just couldn't quite get there as Bango wins the race. Long Range Toddy second, Sir Alfred James in third. Now, for me, selfishly, I had Long Range Toddy here as a B. I'll put myself full camera. Long Range Toddy, I think, was like 23 to 1 or something. A bit, I can't recall his odds. I apologize. If Long Range Toddy had won this race, and then, of course, we all know the results of the last. The pick five didn't end up paying much. I think it paid about somewhere in the range of $280. Listen, I was happy to have it, but certainly I'm not going to be able to buy a new car with that. If Long Range Toddy wins the race, it would go up. I would say seven or eightfold. You're talking about a $1,500, to $1,800 probably, pick five somewhere in that range. So obviously, and I also had a trifecta with Long Range Toddy on top too, and a win bet. So I was waiting for the inquiry sign, waiting. No inquiry. Tell me below what you think if after you watch this show here. Should there have been an inquiry on Bango, or is that just selfish wishful thinking on my part because I wanted Long Range Toddy in first? I thought Bango came over. I thought there should have been an inquiry. You can make the argument, okay, maybe he shouldn't have come down. But the fact that no one put up an inquiry and no one even looked at it, to me, was shocking. Anyway, congratulations to Bango. He only got an 89 buyer. So I still think he was an unlikely winner because a lot of horses regressed. Empire of Gold regressed, although I think the trip was part of it. Um, Tap to Win was horrible. It ended up with like a 68 buyer. Moho Man regressed. Sir Alfred James regressed. Your top, three or four horses had to regress in order for Bango to win. If you would have told me that an 89 buyer was going to win this race, I would have been very surprised. But that's exactly what happened. But congratulations to Bango, who came from behind to win this race, and Long Range Toddy, one of our price plays on our preview show, ends up getting second and giving us a big trifecta. A dollar try, I believe, was about $860. Let's go ahead to the last race of the pick five that I want to show. It was a restricted mile and a 16th turf race for older males and set piece for Brad Cox, Florent Giroux. Won the race, ran very well. This horse is in absolute raging form. We're just going to go ahead and go fast forward a little bit here. As you see, the 9 had the lead. You see Ramsey's Solution there. The 4 was the second choice coming off the layoff, who I thought was dangerous there in the Ramsey Silks. You see Set Piece was a good 5 or 6 lengths back as they only went about 48 and 2. And I thought Set Piece, might have some trouble closing from this far back. But Florent Giroux knew exactly what he had under him. But as you can see, Set Piece was ultra confident here under the hands of Giroux. Makes this 4 wide sweeping move. Giroux's not even look at the hands. He's not even asking right now. He ranges up, he circles everyone, and absolutely blows by the pace setter here on his way to a 100 buyer. This is a buyer top for a set piece. This is not a killer field, but boy, does set piece do it easily. In hand, look, he's in hand already, way before the wire. Wins with a 100 buyer. This was a very impressive effort by set piece. Much better than even looked on paper. And I'm not sure if you saw that. I apologize. Let me go ahead and just show you the end there. Again, not sure if you had a chance to see that. Again, here's the replay as set piece just blows by the field there with again, like I said, 100 buyer, doing it in hand, winning very easily. This is just a really impressive effort by set piece. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go next with this horse because they have a lot of options. I would think they're going to go to Saratoga and put this horse in a tougher spot. It'll be interesting to see again what they do. But set piece, ultra impressive in the last leg. And he was the favorite. And again, That was an A horse, my only A in this race. So my two single A's got home. We all hit the pick 4, hit the pick 5 on the race day blog. Again, didn't pay a ton, but made a nice profit. That's always what you need. Congratulations to anyone out there who profited on the day. Again, coming up this week, one more time, as you can see on the bottom of the screen there, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Belmont Stakes Day preview show with excellent, nationally known handicapper Nick Tamero will be my guest. You do not want to miss it. And again, if you want to sign up for the Race Day blog, look down below in the description for the details on how you can do that. And or you can listen to the show, of course, on Wednesday night, and I'll be talking about that as well. Thank you very much for watching the recap show. This has been Howard Kravitz, your host for the HHH Racing Podcast. Look forward to seeing everyone this Wednesday night for the Belmont Stakes Day preview show. Take care, everyone, and good night.